Hey guys, MetalDucksXBeats here, and as you could blatantly tell, I love the Super Smash Bros. Series. I already did videos evolving this series before, however, this might be my biggest list yet. So far, my top 12 characters I would love to see in Super Smash Bros. Whether it's Ultimate or a later installment, really it's just a list I'm just doing for fun. This is not a prediction list. In fact, I'm sure a lot of these characters might not even be likely. But who knows, a lot of Smash predictions have been very unpredictable as of late. But before I get started, I want to bring out two rules. First of all, no assist trophy characters. Not because I don't think they're unlikely, I'm just saying that I would rather save that for another list. Because if I put assist trophy characters in this list, half of the list would just be assist trophy characters. Also, no non-video game characters. I feel like this is kind of obvious. Oh yeah, and one more thing. This is just my opinion. I feel like I just kind of have to say that. It's not like objective or whatever. It's just my thoughts, my opinions. I feel like I have to make it crystal clear. You may not even agree with this list, and that's cool. That's fine. That's okay. If you have your own personal picks, you could just tell me. And that's cool. Whatever. I can't believe I have to say it out loud like this. But also, why is it a top 12 instead of a top 10? Well, I kind of want to give it a holiday theme. Hopefully I might upload this in Christmas or before the year ends. We'll see. But with that being said, when it comes to the Resident Evil series, I usually hear a lot of people requesting for Jill or Leon, one of the hero characters really, and I think that would be pretty cool. However, personally, I think it should be a villain to represent Resident Evil, since I think in a survival horror game, it's usually the villain or the monster that steals the show for me personally. Now, people usually say Wesker in this case, which I think is an awesome choice on himself. However, personally, I would have to choose Nemesis. Honestly, my personal favorite monster within the Resident Evil series. Now, why do I choose Nemesis over the rest of the RE characters? I just think that he would have a more unique and stand-out-ish presence to him. He would just kind of look out of place, but not in a bad way. I think he would look very unique, striking to the eye, being this ugly, brutish monster with a rocket launcher slash flamethrower, and would use his tentacles too. Basically be a literal tank character in a way. And I think that would be a pretty cool character to put in, especially to represent the survival horror genre, since I don't think we have any horror game character in Smash. And I do think he is iconic enough since, well, his name is literally the subtitle of the game he came from. I don't know, just having that presence alone, I think this makes him worthy to represent the Resident Evil series or survival horror series. When it comes to the first-person shooter genre, there's a lot of choices that you could probably name off. However, the most prominent name that you probably heard is the motherfucker of first-person shooters itself. The Doom Slayer, or Doom Guy, I'm not sure whether they're the same person or not, but whatever, I'm just gonna call him the Doom Guy from now on, I think would have been awesome to see in Super Smash Bros. Now, people would like to make the argument that Doom is too violent to be represented in Smash, which, first of all, I don't think if Doom Guy makes it into Smash, he'll automatically bring blood and decapitation and guts within the game. No, don't be ridiculous. It's still gonna be in that slapstick-ish way, and also we already have very M-rated characters in Smash, so what's really stopping Doom Guy? So really, he's fair game. And also, I think it'll just be really fun to play as. Be this very aggressive character with rifles and a chainsaw, all that stuff, and just be very, very fun. And considering that Doom has this legacy to it, being the game that defined the FPS shooter genre, I think it would be highly likely, though again this list isn't really based on that, but I just think that Doomslayer just feels right in a way. It just feels right to be here. At least in my opinion. When it comes to the first-person shooter genre, there's probably a lot of choices that you could name. Oh, wait a minute, did I already did this skit? Oh, whatever, it's Halo. The Halo series is the series that introduced me and my brother to the FPS genre. Now you may say that Doom Guy is more deserving, but I do think that Master Chief is no slouch himself. Although I do think both of them are pretty interchangeable in this list, the reason why I put Master Chief higher is for more personal reasons. I do think that seeing Master Chief alongside with these other gaming icons would just be sort of a dream come true and just put me and my brother in awe. Just seeing what was essentially impossible, like probably a decade ago, now being more possible than ever. And I don't know, I just really think it would be awesome, and I don't think he would be this like any similar to Samus, same with Doom Guy. I think he'll be very unique from the two characters. I don't think any of them would really play the same. And also, being a big Red vs. Blue fan, I do think that having some unintentional references to Red vs. Blue for his color palettes would be honest, would just make me geek out, honestly. I know it's nothing really, you know, major or whatever, but it's just that feeling, just this feeling of hype and just nostalgic joy. Just, this is what I live for when it comes to Smash. I know this is a cliche choice, but I do think it would be cool if he was playable.
This party's getting crazy. Let's rock.
I just think having this very high-octane, very eccentric character make it into Smash, I think would just be a sight to behold. I know some people may say he would be too similar to Bayonetta. I don't think so, personally. He would have similar fundamentals, sure, and maybe similar gunplay, but other than that, they would be completely different characters. And I do think adaptating a lot of the moves and weapons within the Devil May Cry series that Dante had within Smash Bros. Would honestly be very amazing to think about. And I do think that it would be pretty difficult, but at the same time, it would be really amazing. Maybe they'll do what Marvel vs. Capcom did, but I feel like Smash Bros. Would probably do something more unique with it, I think personally. But that's all I really gotta say about this badass. I think Dante highly deserves a spot in Super Smash Bros. The Disgaea series, honestly my personal favorite RPG series, which is very niche, which is probably why it never really gets talked about when Smash Bros is in discussion. However, I would honestly like to see a Disgaea rep in Smash Bros. Usually people would probably go towards Laharl, which, funny enough, he was gotta be in this list, but after doing some more thinking, why not the Prinny? Sure, this choice might be off the wall and insane, but so are the Disgaea games, so I think this fits perfectly well. And I do think that the Prinny's probably has a lot more better moveset potential than Laharl. Not saying that I wouldn't be okay with Laharl, I would be completely fine with Laharl. But personally, I think the Prinny's would be honestly pretty amazing to see. Just how off the wall and insane their fighting style would be. I feel like it would have been more high risk, high reward, but it would just be like in a more wackier kinda level. And I do think they would take a lot of inspiration from the Prinny spin-off games, which honestly I do think are very underrated games. Like, hey, if you like the Castlevania series or any hard side-scroller series, I think the Prinny games are perfect for you. But with that being said, I think that the Prinny's would be amazing to see in Smash. I am pretty disappointed that the Sonic franchise isn't really that well represented in Smash. In fact, I think thanks to Sephiroth's inclusion, the Final Fantasy series is more well represented in Smash in comparison. I don't think the Sonic franchise even had a single new remix. And no, I'm not counting the Angel Island remix because that was made before Brawl. Hell, Sonic doesn't even have another Echo Fighter. Though if there were going to be a second rep for the Sonic franchise, who would it be? A lot of people would have said Shadow and Knuckles, and honestly I would have put Knuckles in this list, but sadly he is an assist trophy, so he's pretty much disqualified from this list. Now I heard some people say Eggman and even Metal Sonic, which are also cool choices. However, there was one choice that I personally would have liked. Highly unlikely? Oh hell yeah she is! I think that Shadow, Knuckles, Eggman, Tails, hell, even Amy is probably a lot more likely than Blaze. Though the reason why I put Blaze here is for a more personal reason. Blaze is honestly my personal favorite Sonic character. Sure, you may say this. I might say the same for Knuckles, but for Blaze, I think she stayed consistently a badass character through and through throughout the series. And I just do think that her mannerisms and her move list, whether she's like an Echo or not, I think would just be amazing to see in Smash. And plus, I feel like we need more Sonic representation. And I feel like Blaze might fill that void, or at least in my opinion. Do I really need to explain myself with Ryu Hayabusa? I mean, this character has been around since the NES era and stayed relevant towards the modern era. So I feel like he has a lot of coverage in terms of references and legacy to him. And over the course of the years, he's been in many video game genres, like his first appearance in the beat-em-up genre in the arcades, to the hard-as-balls side-scrolling action games of the NES era, to the modern-day hack-and-slash Devil May Cry style game, and even in a fighting game with Dead or Alive set in the same universe as Ninja Gaiden. So yeah, there's a lot of things you could pull from him. And plus, I feel like he would have filled that void as the prominent ninja character. Now don't get me wrong, I think Sheik and Greninja are cool characters, but I feel like Ryu Hayabusa would just be in a whole nother level, at least in my opinion. Because, you know, he's a main character, he's just has this aura / look to him, at least in my opinion, I think he would fit in just well. Hey, guys, this might be a little bit of a shocker, but I'm a bit of a Kirby fan. Yeah, huge shocker. But when it comes to another Kirby rep, I am all for that. I always wanted another Kirby character since Smash 4. But the question is, who though? I know a lot of people request for Bandana Waddle Dee, which I think would have been cool. However, I always preferred other characters. Now, I'm not against Bandana Waddle Dee. I think he would have been a cool addition, like I said. However, I don't know. I think I would have preferred Marks, in my opinion. I know that Marks is the second most requested Kirby character, so he isn't really that unknown. And plus, he is a boss in Smash Ultimate, but I don't think that really hinders his chances because, well, Giga Bowser and Ganon are boss battles, so I don't really see how this is any different. However, I just prefer Marks in general over Bandana Waddle Dee, is because I feel like having a Kirby villain being represented in Smash I think would have been pretty awesome, at least in my opinion. Now, if you asked me 10 years ago, I probably would have been against Marks being playable and just have him as a boss like they did in Smash Ultimate. However, after seeing him playable in Kirby Star Allies, that completely changed my mind 100%, and now I'm all for Marks being playable. I just think there's a lot of creative possibilities and potential for Marks if he ever becomes playable. I think he would have been a very unique, very creative, and very, I guess, off the wall kind of playstyle. And honestly, again, I'm all for that.
Hold up! Wait a minute! Why am I not in this list?
Sword Knight, what are you doing here? Well, okay, to answer your question, although I think a helper character would have been cool, I feel like having a more mainstay character would have just been more appropriate, if you know what I mean.
Whoa, you do realize I've been in this franchise for more longer than Marks or Bandana Waddle Dee or what other kind of suggestion.
Yeah, he's not gonna
I've been
stop. Just move on to the next entry. Now, when it comes to the Namco fighting game series, to be more specific, Tekken and Soul Calibur, I feel like a lot of people usually aim for the more mainstay characters like Kazuya, Heihachi, Siegfried, and Nightmare, which, I'm gonna be honest, Nightmare as Siegfried's Echo Fighter would have been actually pretty awesome. However, I think there should be a character that should represent both of these franchises. Even though he's not a main character whatsoever, I do think he would make perfect sense for a crossover fighting game like Super Smash Bros. He would represent both of the series as I mentioned, and I think he would have had a very unique moveset. And I do think this character has infinite possibilities thanks to the recent characters that have been announced in Smash Bros. I mean, just think about it. Imagine him having like many of these different unique costumes from both series, and maybe even having different victory music depending on what costume he's wearing, and hell, maybe even 2 different final smashes depending on what costume of the series he's from, like how Cloud has 2 different final smashes depending on what costume he's wearing. And you know what? I think this is more fitting for a different video in the future. But with that being said, I think Yoshimitsu would just fit perfectly in Super Smash Bros. Now, truth be told, Terry Bogard would have taken this spot in the list if he wasn't in Smash Bros. Already. However, after doing some thinking, there are 2 other fighting game series I would love to see represented in Smash Bros. Blazblue and Guilty Gear. However, the main question is, who? Soul, bad guy from Guilty Gear, or Ragnar the Blood Edge from Blazblue? And to that I say,
¿Por qué no los dos?
I know it's a little bit of a cop-out to have them tie, but I honestly can't decide between the two. In fact, this was the hardest part of the list. And I just think it just feels right for them to be ties, since I cannot decide if I prefer Blazblue or Guilty Gear in general. However, I think they would make a cool Echo pairing, or semi-Echo pairing at least, because I do think their movesets would have been somewhat similar. However, that would be elaborated more in a more later video down the line, hopefully. But with that being said though, I think that Blazblue and Guilty Gear deserves a spot within the Smash Bros. Legacy, at least in my opinion, since Blazblue and Guilty Gear sort of helped the anime fighting game genre, not really like subgenre, pretty much explode, and I couldn't be more thankful for that since those are my favorite types of fighting games. And I just think seeing the wacky and crazy mechanics being executed in Smash, it would just be crazy to think about. And just thinking about the many reactions, what that would entail, that's besides the point. Thing is, I personally would have loved to see like these two, or even one of these two, making it into Smash. As unlikely as Klonoa is, considering that you could say that his franchise is practically dead, this is honestly one of my biggest childhood dreams, to see Klonoa interact with characters like Sonic, Pac-Man, even Mega Man, and even Kirby too, considering the dream motif. However, Klonoa, I think, would have struck a chord with me personally. And personally, I am pretty surprised that Namco doesn't really have that much representation in Smash. However, if they're going to include one more character, and I know I said Yoshimitsu, and I would love Yoshimitsu in Smash. I mean, he wouldn't even be in this list if that wasn't the case, but in my heart though, I would have loved Klonoa the most. And he would honestly feel like he would be right at home. If you know me for a long time, number one is pretty obvious. Who else but the half-genie hero herself? Now, I know a lot of people would have preferred other indie game characters, which is cool, don't get me wrong. Hollow Knight, Cuphead, freaking Shovel Knight, quote from Cave Story, hell, even any Undertale or Deltarune characters, those would have been nice too. But personally, I've just always wanted to see Shantae in this game of Titans. I not just don't think she has the legacy status, which I know it, like, legacy doesn't necessarily matter, but I guess it's just how I view Smash, being this legacy piece. And I just think that Shantae, since she is one of the biggest indie game success stories, and also one of the more interesting indie game success stories, I just think that she would have fit the mold perfectly. And I think she would have had a huge doozy of a moveset. I'm just thinking about the potential her move kit could have, and I think she would just be a fun ass time. And plus, she would fit the mold of more female representation and indie game representation, so I guess that's a plus. But personally, Shantae is my most wanted Smash Bros. Character of all time. Hey guys, MetaDuckX Beats here. I hope you enjoyed the list. For some odd reason, this list took me a long time to finish. Whether it was lack of motivation, laziness, me wanting to do other projects, or just bad timing. I at least could say I finished the list. It is done. I am glad I finished this. And the funny part is, there are so much characters I would have loved to include in this list. I'm thinking maybe in the future, after like Fighter Pass 2 is finished, or hell, if there's maybe even after Fighter Pass 3, if that's ever gotta be a thing, maybe I might do like a sequel list-ish, maybe, but I'm not gonna make any promises with that. Though I also teased on the top assist trophy characters I would like to see playable, so we'll just have to see if that gets made next year, but again, no promises. Though, I will say, despite all the hiccups from this list and all the setbacks, this was actually really fun to make, not gonna lie. And I am proud of the choices I made here. Not sure if that's gonna stay the same later down in the future, but for now I am proud of this list. And I'm glad I finished it. And I am recording this at the day after Christmas. So I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas, or a Happy Hanukkah, or Happy Kwanzaa, just any holiday that you celebrate. I hope you had a good one, and I know this year wasn't necessarily the best year for everyone, but I just hope everyone had stayed safe throughout this year. I'm not sure if this will be my last video of this year, most likely, maybe, but I might like upload something before the year ends, who knows, maybe not, maybe, we'll just have to wait and see. It won't be voiced, most likely, but again, we'll see. With that being said, this has been an XX Beats. I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. Hope everyone is safe. And I'll see you